In the modern music landscape, fame can be born overnight, sparked by a viral TikTok or even just a bedroom recording uploaded online. Few artists embody this new reality as much as David, who has quickly risen from obscurity to global attention. His music, drenched in heartbreak and shadowed by vulnerability, resonates with millions of listeners searching for raw emotion. Songs like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me have become anthems of youthful pain, played endlessly across social media. But as his artistic star has risen, so too has his shadow, a controversy that now threatens to rewrite his story entirely. In this video, we'll examine how his music connects so deeply and how recent developments cast an unsettling pall over his image. In this, we confront questions about separating the art from the artist. Can we still hear his lyrics as metaphors? Or about the reports that recently came out? To understand the present storm, he must revisit the unlikely origins of his career. David Anthony Burke, better known as David, was born in Queens, New York in 2005, before relocating with his family to Houston, Texas. Music surrounded him early, gospel in church, rap in his neighborhood, but his first creative outlet wasn't a microphone. It was gaming. Like millions of teenagers, David spent countless hours playing Fortnite, but unlike most, he began uploading montage clips to YouTube. These clips relied on copyrighted songs, which soon drew takedowns and copyright strikes. His mother encouraged him to avoid the problem by creating his own original music. Armed with nothing more than an iPhone in the closet in his sister's room, David started recording. What began as a workaround for gaming content became the seed of his music career. The lo-fi quality of these early tracks gave them a strange intimacy, as though you were eavesdropping on a private confession. This was art born in a studio, but in the shadows of necessity and teenage experimentation. His roots in gaming culture gave him an edge. He instinctively understood how music and internet trends intertwined. That awareness would become vital when his breakthrough arrived. In 2022, the world met David through a hauntingly simple track, Romantic Homicide. Recorded on his phone, its fragile production didn't matter much. The emotion cut through instantly. On TikTok, users paired the song with breakup edits, melancholy aesthetics, and emotional storytelling. Soon, it became a cultural moment, climbing the Billboard Hot 100 and earning David a deal with Interscope Records. The song's rawness was its power. The lyrics like, "In the back of my mind, you died," became iconic, as we're seeing now, coded in captions and comments across millions of videos and tweets. Unlike heavily produced pop songs, Romantic Homicide, felt confessional, as though David had cracked open his diary and let the world peek inside. This authenticity made him feel relatable, especially to Gen Z listeners who crave emotional honesty. But it also set the tone for his career. David would always be seen as a vessel of pain, heartbreak, and quiet sorrow. His music didn't ask you to dance, it asked you to sit in the silence of your own thoughts. This vulnerability drew fans closer, but it also blurred the lines between art and confession, a line that, in time, would be scrutinized. Following his breakout success, David released 2 EPs, Petals to Thorns and The Lost Petals. Each project expanded on his style, blending indie rock, R&B, and dream pop into a sound both familiar and otherworldly. His themes revolved around heartbreak, longing, and fleeting youth, resonating with listeners navigating their own coming-of-age struggles. In 2025, he unveiled his debut studio album, Withered. Critics praised its ambition, noting a deeper exploration of loss, nostalgia, and inner conflict. The album proved he was just not a viral sensation, but a legitimate artist capable of building a body of work. Fans admired his ability to stretch genres, moving from shoegaze guitars to R&B melodies in a single track. What united it all was his lyrical honesty, as I mentioned before, and a voice that carried both fragility and power. For a moment, it seemed like David was on the path to becoming a generational voice, the kind of artist who would define an era. Yet, just as his music matured, so too did the challenges surrounding him. In September 2025, shocking news broke. Human remains were discovered in a Tesla registered to David. The body was later identified as a 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who had been missing since April 2024. Authorities confirmed Burke was cooperating with investigators, though no official cause of death has been determined quite yet. David's tour dates across the US and Europe were cancelled. Media outlets scrambled to connect dots, while fans flooded social media with speculation. Some defended him, citing lack of evidence. Well, I don't even think there is people saying there's a lack of evidence. I don't know why I wrote that in the script. But others, like me, condemn him outright. And inevitably, attention turned back to his lyrics. Songs like Romantic Homicide, once seen as a metaphor, were reinterpreted in sinister ways. What had once been vulnerability now seemed like a confession. The line between art and life, once blurred, became dangerously sharp. Whether fair or not, perception shifted, and David's career entered uncharted territory. The unfolding controversy around David raises timeless questions about art, fame, and accountability. Should we separate the art from the artist, especially when the artist is still under investigation? Like, is there anyone who thinks this guy is fucking, like, innocent? I don't know, man. He seems pretty sick in the head, but, I mean, I could just be judging, but, man, even to just be talking to a 15-year-old, bro, you are a fucking weirdo. But after this, how should we think about David? If he gets locked up, should we separate the art from the artist? Especially when the artist, like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, do people still want to listen to it? There's going to be some weird-ass fanboys that's still going to love this shit. But one thing we know for sure now is that David's legacy will always be tinted. Regardless of what investigators conclude, that boy guilty. This case forces us to reconsider the relationship between art and reality. Are songs merely stories, or are they confessions waiting to be discovered? David's journey is both inspiring and unsettling at the same time. He proved that with nothing but an iPhone and a vision, you can reach millions, bypassing the traditional music industry. His songs have given voice to a generation grappling with heartbreak, loneliness, and identity problems. Yet his story now carries a dark layer, one that may permanently alter how his music is heard. Whether he is remembered as a genre-blending innovator or as an artist overshadowed by scandals remains uncertain. What is clear, though, is that David's rise in turmoil reflects the realities of fame in the digital age. Where's the distance between personal and public, metaphor and reality, and how can you just collapse overnight?